Disney is notorious for recycling their characters and artifacts. Knowing this, many fans keep their eyes peeled for Easter eggs when watching an old or new Disney flick. Regardless of this, few people have managed to spot out Queen Athena's cameo in Peter Pan. Watch until the end to find out which shocking theory places Ariel's mom in Neverland. First time around here? Don't forget to subscribe to The Things to give our video a big thumbs up. Now let's find out what really happened to Ariel's mom. Easter eggs. It's pretty typical for Disney animators and writers to tie their movies to each other. This concept presents itself in the form of Easter eggs, and they can sometimes be hard to point out. But hey, don't worry, we're experts here. Animators can spend years working on a particular Disney project, which gives them plenty of time to rig it with cameos. But to do this tastefully, discretion must be their top priority. And since most of us don't notice these Easter eggs by ourselves, we'd say that they're doing a mighty fine job. While it's perfectly normal for Disney heroines to grow up with single parents, some form of explanation is usually offered at the beginning of the film. But when it comes to Ariel's mother, Queen Athena, we're left grasping at straws. It's been nearly 30 years since Disney's The Little Mermaid was released, and it's taken all of this time for fans to connect the dots. Do you know how Queen Athena managed to get on Captain Hook's bad side? Watch until the end to find out why Ariel's mother was in Neverland in the first place.
Teenagers, they think they know everything.
The striking resemblance. It's hard not to see that Princess Ariel is King Triton's favorite daughter. This is made evident by the fact that he's always looking out for her. While some may argue that he's merely worried about her, we'd like to think that it goes beyond that. Ariel may be the youngest out of 7 sisters, but she's also the one who resembles her mother the most. Don't believe us? Just take a look at Queen Athena in Disney's 2008 film, The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Beginning. In this film, we see how similar the two mermaids are, which makes us believe that King Triton favors Ariel because she's the spitting image of her late mother. Now let's switch our focus from the 2008 version of Queen Athena and go back to her 1953 Peter Pan self. Midway through the Peter Pan movie, little Wendy is overjoyed to see a group of mermaids swimming by the shore. Amongst these ocean dwellers are 2 red-headed mermaids, both of which could easily be Ariel's mother. Whereas one wears her hair red, just like Ariel does, another has it fashioned in a ponytail. Both these mermaids have an aqua-colored fin, which seems to be a replica of Ariel's tail. The resemblance between these 2 Peter Pan mermaids is uncanny, leading us to believe that one could be Ariel's aunt and the other her mother. This wicked Disney Easter egg is too great to miss, which is why we're convinced that these mermaids tie into the Little Mermaid universe. Death by pirates. Many of us have wondered about Ariel's mother. This gorgeous and kind ruler seemed to have a good head on her shoulders, which is why she left with a good impression on her people. In The Little Mermaid 2, Return to the Sea, we catch a glimpse of Queen Athena holding her youngest daughter Ariel, and it's impossible to ignore the resemblance. In this film, we find out what happened to Ariel's mom, and trust us when we say that it's not a pretty image. It turns out that pirates attacked the Mermaid's Cove, and some sirens didn't make it out alive. Queen Athena chose to go back to the bay to retrieve a music box that her husband King Triton had gifted to her, and during her ridiculous attempt to recover a material object, she was crushed by the pirate ship. This unfortunate end could easily have been avoided, but Queen Athena didn't have time to think her actions through. Could this be where Ariel gets her fascination with material objects from? Since it was confirmed that Queen Athena's passing was the result of a pirate ambush, it is so far-fetched to think that Captain Hook was the one leading the crusade. After all, we all know how much the pirate hates mermaids of all shapes and sizes. It's only normal for storylines and animations to change every decade or so, which is why many details may be different between these 2008 and 1953 Disney films. If there's one tidbit that stayed the same through, it's that Captain Hook would travel near and far to put an end to marine life.
Wow, this is special. This is very, very unusual.
What? What is it?
It's a dingle hopper.
King Triton's hatred for humans. With so many clues pointing towards Queen Athena being amongst the mermaids in Peter Pan, it's a given that fans are still questioning this theory. From the very moment we were introduced to Ariel in The Little Mermaid, it became obvious that she was different than the rest of her sisters. While this set her apart from them, it also caused King Triton a significant amount of grief. As the ruler of Atlantica, King Triton has to protect the mer people in his kingdom. Sadly, he was unable to shield his wife from her fate. Trident. With this in mind, it's easy to understand why he's so hard on his youngest daughter Ariel, who is undeniably obsessed with breaking the rules. While King Triton considers himself to be a reasonable mermaid, the last thing he wants is for his daughters to get close to human beings. This has everything to do with protecting the secret world of Atlantica. However, there is one underlying reason why King Triton hates humans more than anything else in the ocean, and this is due to them being the reason Queen Athena was taken away from him. Holding on to such a grudge is a hard thing to do when your youngest daughter refuses to keep her distance from humans. After marrying Prince Eric and giving birth to Melody, Ariel's father was finally able to realize that not all humans are evil. But this won't stop him from hating pirates for the rest of his life. Ariel was following in her mother's footsteps. Being fascinated with humans isn't exactly healthy when you're a mermaid. This is a hard truth Ariel came to know by heart. But hey, it never stopped her from approaching the enemy. Ariel spent most of her young life escaping her kingdom and swimming up for air, where she eventually became infatuated with human life. Despite her father's warnings, Ariel continued to pay little mind to the dangers surrounding her. King Triton eventually got tired of Ariel's disobedience, but in a way, he also grew to be a bit proud of her too. After all, she was following in her mother's footsteps. When it comes to rules and limitations, Ariel isn't one to abide by them, which is a trait she inherited from Queen Athena and not King Triton. After losing his wife, King Triton did everything he could to keep his 7 daughters out of harm's way. Unfortunately, keeping his eyes on them 24 hours a day was just impossible, but not without good reason. The king does have to rule Atlantica after all. Ariel is the spitting image of her mother, but she also has her spirit. Knowing this, it isn't too hard to place Ariel's mother amongst the mermaids in Peter Pan. It's easy to think of Queen Athena as a peaceful ruler, but if she's anything like the mermaid in Peter Pan, she's the furthest thing from sweet and innocent. Could it be that Queen Athena lived a double life outside of Atlantica? Because it sure looks like she did.
Ariel, what are you? Don't be a jellyfish.
The Unnamed Mermaid. With so many Disney Easter eggs to sift through, it can be challenging to bring the truth to light. This is especially true when taking old Disney movies into account. Since Peter Pan came out nearly 70 years ago, some fan theories can get taken out of context. But before you go and discount this Peter Pan Easter egg, allow us to explain. Since Queen Athena and Princess Ariel are a lot alike, it makes sense that they would hide their royal bloodline from their friends. Heck, Ariel hid her true self from Prince Eric for quite some time before coming clean. Could it be that the red-headed mermaid in Peter Pan was doing the same thing? Since Disney is known for taking years to perfect a movie, is it a coincidence that they chose to include an unnamed mermaid in their Peter Pan plot? Could it be that they already knew about the mermaid's relation but didn't want to give their identity away? All in all, it would be easy to disprove this theory if the Peter Pan mermaid had a name in the first place, but in this case, she merely appeared as a perfectly crafted Easter egg.
I gotta admit, I can't put my foot on it right now, but if I just stand here long enough, I know
She's
that I'll...
got legs, you idiot!
Queen Athena wasn't as kind as her daughters think. Anyone who loves Ariel would like to believe that her mother was the sweetest mermaid in the ocean. However, if she's anything like the mermaids in Peter Pan, this is far from the truth. Mermaids have often been depicted as evil creatures who lure humans into deep, dark waters. Sure, it's possible for a mermaid to change her ways, but not before doing some damage of her own. The mermaids in Peter Pan are notorious for turning into evil beasts at midnight, which is why Peter warns Wendy of steering clear of them at the turn of the moon. If Queen Athena was indeed part of this mermaid group, this makes her evil beyond belief. Could it be that Queen Athena drowned a few of Captain Hook's crew members? If so, this would give him enough motive to seek her out years after the attack. Queen Athena may have changed her ways when she married King Triton, but this doesn't exempt her from her past sins. It's easy to see that the sirens in Peter Pan want nothing more than to harm poor Wendy. While Peter plays it off like they're just messing around, the red-haired mermaid admits to wanting to drown the little girl. Despite their tough act, the mermaid group screeches at the sight of Captain Hook's ship. Seeing such powerful creatures become terrified at the sight of a man is strange, especially one as clumsy as Captain Hook. So did they react this way out of fear, or because they knew that revenge was coming their way? Do you believe that Ariel's mom can do no wrong? Or does Captain Hook ending her life suddenly make sense? If you're having a hard time believing this, wait until you hear the last theory on our list. Queen Athena was kidnapped and brought back to Neverland. This is perhaps the darkest Queen Athena theory you'll you'll ever encounter. During the flashback in The Little Mermaid, Ariel's beginning, we're told that Queen Athena was crushed by a pirate ship while trying to retrieve her music box. However, when taking a second look, we notice that the collision isn't even showcased in the first place. So if there are anything movies have taught us, it's that a character is probably still alive if you never saw their ending. With this in mind, we're led to believe that pirates didn't kill Queen Athena. They kidnapped her and brought her to Neverland. Neverland might sound like a cheerful place, but it's an ageless land where people go to escape their responsibilities. Could it be that Queen Athena got kidnapped and brought to Neverland against her will? If so, this would automatically make her a prisoner of the island. Is it possible that King Triton has been hiding the truth from his daughters all along? If so, it might be because he's well aware of what happens to mermaids in Neverland. When exposed to the moon, sirens become vicious creatures who attack humans at all costs. Perhaps Captain Hook spent his time capturing mermaids with the hopes that they would drown Peter Pan for him. Unfortunately for him, they took a sudden liking to Peter and refused to harm him. Could this have caused Captain Hook to start hunting them down? If this theory is correct, we'd love to see a sequel where Ariel travels to Neverland to save her mother from the evil pirate's grip. Now that would be worth the wait. So, do we have you convinced that Queen Athena was given a small role in Disney's Peter Pan? If so, let us know which arguments made you a believer. And hey, don't be shy and fill us in on some Little Mermaid theories of your own. Who knows, you might be onto something. And that's it for our video. Don't forget to subscribe to The Things for all things Disney to head your way. Thanks for watching and see you next time.